information that I learned from all the other SDRs on previous events, what worked well, what didn't work well, and came up with my own strategy and cadence to reach out to people for that event. There was about 40 registrants, and out of the 40, probably 25 of them came from me sending LinkedIn messages with a template that I use. Really just a lot of copy and pasting after finding the right people. And what I was able to find was just a lot of trial and error with some loopholes that LinkedIn has that a lot of people aren't aware of that allow you to message as many people as you want, as well as some loopholes to get their full names when you see on LinkedIn when they don't have their full name. They found a way to do that, as well as get email addresses of these people that aren't already in Salesforce. So made it a lot easier to reach out to them afterwards via email and such. So we'll go ahead and just jump into what I did to get invitations to these people, and I think that it's very applicable to ACE as well. We can get really just get to the right people, make sure that the invitation is in front of them, and hopefully it'll work out just as well as DC. So where to start? First of all, I created a playbook and had a presentation on that about 2 weeks ago. That was more conceptual. This is going to go into the details of exactly what I did. And so first thing to go over was creating something that people could click on within a LinkedIn message. And so I don't know if anyone's ever tried, but if you try to put a hyperlink within a LinkedIn message, you can't click on it. So what I found is if you use a bit.ly link, which to create a bit.ly link, you have to create a profile. This is my profile right here with the links that I've created. To create a bit.ly link, you copy and paste any URL. So if I was to copy and paste this one, so the ACE page, on your bit.ly page, you paste it here and it automatically shows up. And all you do is copy the bit.ly link, and then you can put it anywhere. And so there's 3 bit.ly links total in the template that I created and sent out in the email yesterday. One of them is for the What is ACE page, another is for the presenters page, and the other is for the registration page. And so once you have the bit.ly link, it shows up here, and then you can also get a little insight into how many times it's being clicked on. So you get to see if you're not getting clicks, then it's just not being an effective message, and might need to change it. But we'll show how effective the template is being. Okay, so once you have created bit.ly links, then the first thing that I did, you're going to want to, or anyone who's going to use this, joining groups that all these prospects that we're trying to get to. If you are in a common group, you can send that person a message without having to use an InMail, one of your InMail credits. And so scrolling down into my groups on my page, I've got a few of these groups right here. A few of them are very key. The number one group that almost maybe 50% of all HR people are in is this linked HR group. I think it has close to 1 million members. And so through linked HR, I've sent several hundred messages to prospects, whether it be for events or just in general trying to get a hold of them, SEO. And it's a great tool to be able to basically get a hold of somebody that maybe you're not getting emails or calls to. So joining these groups, once you've been accepted into this group or any group, you have the ability to send messages via the group, and I'll go into that in just a little bit. But that's the first things first. So once you're in these groups, then it's all about creating the right searches through LinkedIn in order to get the people that you want to contact, get access to them very easily. So going into creating these searches via LinkedIn, you're going to want to go to the Advanced tab And once a search is created, it's very important to bookmark it, so it's very easy to get back to. You can see up on my bookmarks tab, I have a few LinkedIn searches, SGO, champions, they're all just different. They have different aspects to them, whether it's searching by job level or keywords, company, whatever it might be. These are some of the ones that I'm using for ACE right here. So I have Toronto area champions, Toronto area that are in the linked HR group, and then even more targeted champions that are within that linked HR group. So to create one of these lists, you would just go into that advanced tab, and then just to kind of skip forward, after selecting people is going to be the better one to search in rather than leads. So you go into people, and then, there you go. This is what it's going to look like. These are some of the things that you want to include in the LinkedIn search. So for this one, I basically just looked up cities that are near Toronto. Obviously, the closer someone is to the venue, the better chance that they're going to actually make the trip to get there. So all of these major cities around that area are a part of this search that I created. Making sure they're within the HR function, and then seniority level, checked off people that we would want, director, VP, CHROs, HR business partners, things like that. It'll filter out managers and people that are a little lower level that we wouldn't necessarily be that interested in attending. And then company size, obviously 1,000 or above is going to be important. And so once you have selected these options, you can create the search and then make it more granular by searching by, for example, keyword recognition, keyword rewards, keyword engagement. And that'll bring it down even further for the people that you want to target. So this is what the Toronto area HR people or senior level HR people search that I created. So it comes up with 6,511 results. Basically, the majority of these people are people that we would like to have at ACE. So just scrolling through, you can see global talent management at McCain Foods. This is a guy we would definitely want to reach out to, whether or not he's in Salesforce already. Good chance he hasn't heard from us before. And I'm going to show you a way that you can easily contact him. Another example of a search, and by the way, this is as soon as you've done this search and you want to get back to it and be able to access it easily, just bookmarking it in Chrome or in Safari so that you can just click it and it'll go straight back to it. So another way to search, you can get just a little bit more creative as far as this search right here has only people that are within the linked HR group. And so the reason why that's significant is because every single person in this list, all 6,000 and whatever of them, they can all be messaged by me via that linked HR group without having to use LinkedIn InMail. So these people are 100% sure I know that I can contact them with the invitation template that I created. Okay, so this is something that I wanted to use as an example. So I have the same search, so the Toronto area within linked HR, the linked HR group, and CSC, for example, is one of the accounts in my Mid-Atlantic territory. So obviously not everyone is going to be at the corporate headquarters, and these are people that work in high-level HR for CSC, but in, as you can see, Detroit area, Cleveland area. And so, for example, this Jeff guy, compensation and benefit systems at CSC, and this is somebody that's likely not in Salesforce, somebody that we haven't talked to before. I can very easily just click on him. And actually, you don't necessarily need to go to the person, but you'll see that in his groups, there's the linked HR group that I was talking about right there. And so the easiest way to message all of these people as quickly as possible is by going to, let me jump forward a little bit. This guy. So this is what the linked HR group looks like when you go in, and there's a few tabs up here. And so if you click on members, members is going to allow you to search. And so that guy, his name was, go back to Jeff. Jeff C. So we don't have his full name. Might be hard to search for him. Well, all you have to do is search by the company name, and we'll go with Jeff. So I'm in the linked HR group. I type in CSC Jeff. He'll pull up. You can use this guy right here. All you have to do is hit send message. I've got my template already copied, and the subject auto-populates. Actually, I think I have to re-copy it, but here's my template that I just keep in my notes. So I have my Mac notes page to copy it. As you can see, here's a bit.ly link in there. They're all within this template, and it looks a little weird right now, but for some reason the bit.ly links cause weird spacing. So going back over to Jeff, you just copy and paste, and then for each person, and I'll tell you why this is significant later, but obviously you want to make it personal. So you change Jeff. I have this star right here because for people that aren't close to Toronto that I'm inviting, I don't really want to right away say that it's in Toronto. This guy's close to Toronto, so that's not going to turn him off. So I'm going to keep that part of the sentence in there. And then going down to company, I want to change that to CSC. And so right now it's ready to go, send message, and he's received the invitation. So that's just like it would be sent through email. It shows up in their inbox the exact same way, and you can track. The reason why I put the company name in there and his first name is because the only way, there's not Salesforce activities in here. You can go in and see if you've already talked to somebody. You actually have to go into your LinkedIn inbox in order to find whether you've messaged somebody or not. And when I was doing this at the beginning, I just kept going through a bunch of pages trying to remember if I sent it to somebody. But you can go into the sent messages in your inbox, and you can easily search for CSC, and there's Jeff, and you got two invitations already, but I sent one yesterday.
And so you're not logging this in Salesforce?
So you can certainly go into Salesforce, and I mean, good chance.
I know you can certainly go into Salesforce, but are you not logging this in Salesforce?
I will be. Like I just log it as a call, LinkedIn invitation.
Okay.
But I have to
still show up on the activity report if you do that.
Right, that'll show up on the activity report.
Yeah, that's my concern, number one. And number two, let's say your account executive wants to look up the record or contact this contact. It's imperative that it's logged.
Yeah, so something that's going to come up in a second is if somebody's not already in Salesforce, adding them to Salesforce, as well as finding their email address. There's ways to do that. And that way you can also obviously add them to email campaigns. But
it's simple to find. Look, you have his last name now.
Exactly. So that was part of the loophole that I was talking about.
Yeah.
It was Jeff C. before. If you go into your inbox after sending them a message,
it'll appear.
The last name shows up, full last name.
Awesome.
And then I'll talk about what that's also useful for besides being able to add them to Salesforce. Just jumping back a little bit.
What's the response rate so far?
Response rate? I have two CHROs get back to me after starting to send them after 5 p.m. last night. One's going to register and one that you couldn't go.
Okay.
But I've only sent out about 15 of these.
Good.
So